Hi there, welcome to Nonsense Whisky. My name is VinPF, and on today's episode we're going to be going back to another ALDI Whisky. Now ALDI are making a bit of a name for themselves at the moment, as we know. They've been winning awards with the Highland Black 8 and the Glen Marnoch Islay edition. Both of those I've covered before, and I'll be dropping links to those just up here throughout the video. This, however, is the Glen Marnoch Highland single malt. This is the rum cask finish. They did a couple of different versions of this finish, including a sherry finish and an ex-bourbon finish. Now I do have the sherry finish as well. I'll be covering that in a separate video. But I wanted to give this its own video, the rum cask video, because in my opinion this was the best of the three. It's a limited reserve, so they're not selling this at the moment, but Christmas is around the corner if you're watching this around the time of release, and they usually bring stuff like this out again. So this is one of the ones you should keep an eye on, but they sell really quite cheaply. These were £20 when I bought these. Now they're kind of standard single malt stuff that they've got. Their standard whiskies are £17.50, which is a super bargain. The Highland Black 8, of course, is the £13 one, but we've covered that before, and personally, although it's won some awards, I don't like it and I don't see what the fuss is about. Of course, Glen Marnoch, as I've covered before, but if this is the first time you've heard of the Glen Marnoch brand, not a real place, not a real distillery, so Glen where? So this is the confusing thing, but what ALDI like to do is they like to mimic kind of brand names in the UK, just enough to stay out of copyright. So they've created this Glen Marnoch thing to give the vibe that they've got their own distillery, which they don't right now. They're just buying other people's stuff and rebranding it as their own. These limited reserve ones I've got here, and the sherry cask that I'll be covering maybe in a few weeks' time, it's a double cask release, so it's literally matured in ex-bourbon barrels, I should imagine, and we actually don't know. I think there was it used to have a tube that I've thrown away that might have had that information on it, but never mind. And it's finished in rum casks from Caribbean rum. Let's have a go on the actual whiskey and see if it's any good, shall we? Now, straight away, I think this one's got a great nose, to be honest. It's super tropical, bananas, tropical fruits. It's like a fruit salad, you know. Like, remember those little sweets you used to have as kids? I think they're still around. I haven't seen them for a while. Very much like that. Lots of kind of sugary notes to it, brown sugars. It's kind of sweet. It's kind of a sweet nose. Not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Let's try a little bit. I mean, do you know what? It's 40%. It's got a bit of a young malt kick to it. Some slight chemical notes. I'll go with a negative. Some slight chemical notes to it, but nothing too bad. It's got the sweet rum flavour to it. More of those tropical flavours coming through. It is very watery. It is very watery. So it's clearly a watered down whiskey. And I say at 40%, it goes so cheaply that I can't imagine that great casks have gone into this. Of course, we don't know what distillery produces this. All we know is that it's a Highland single malt. There aren't that many Highlands, so it's worth having a little bit of a guess at. But they've still kept that a secret, which is brilliant, to be fair. But for the £20 I paid for it, I'm still happy with that. And if you can get that again for £17 this year, or whatever year, I don't think there's any flies on it, to be honest. The standard releases that they have right now, if you're in the UK and you go into an ALDI, right now, if you're watching brand new on the video, you'll see things like their Islay and their ex-bourbon. They're not that great, I'll be honest. I don't really like them that much. But these special ones that they come out at Christmas time, sometimes they're pretty good. I'll go through the sherry one when I do that video separately. I don't think that one's as good as this one, in my opinion, but I thought surprisingly good. Worth having a look at, I imagine.